Good evening, everybody. Matt Geary here for Geek Pride's Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign, The Legend of Our Sacrifice. With me tonight, we have Conrad as Arno Jerkel.
Hello there.
We have Michael Starval Eldon.
Good evening.
We have a very late Valashil Nostius who hasn't turned up yet, so he may or may not turn up. We have a Dave as Thomas Moonstar.
Even though.
We have Mark as Lance.
Hello.
Right, okay. We have a lot to go over, a lot to digest from the last episode. You have, for those who weren't watching or weren't paying attention, or are just getting into
Didn't last that long.
It didn't last.
It
that
was
long.
a shit show.
It was a shit show. You managed to sort of see off Kiamat's forces, but unfortunately, at the expense of quite a few civilian deaths, the deaths of most of the soldiers at the funeral, and at the very end, despite some valiant tries, the loss of the body of your comrade Draken, who
Could have gone for the head.
who was taken. So that was sort of your whole main sort of kind of drive was to stop him from taking the body, despite him sort of giving you a gift of your erstwhile turned friend, Gibbons. So it didn't go well, and there's a lot of dead people. You got Galandra was downed, Lady Taunt was down twice, what's his name? Sir Tristan was downed and killed and had to be revived. Who else was nearly killed and had to be revived?
Anouk.
I think.
Who's that guy with the poison?
Oh yes, the
Jonto.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
Jonto.
What a
Jonto.
Imagine he was
sure he's
loving
used
it.
to it.
He
I'm
was
pretty sure
loving
he's
it.
used to it, let's be honest.
He was doing quite well for himself. He was doing quite well for himself. But in general, yeah, it didn't end up well. And we had a bit of, after the sort of quite a long RP session. After quite a long sort of session, we did a bit of an RP session in the Discord chat, and pretty much, and I'll read some of it out for you. People's things will disappear, by the way, so you won't see their. Bear with me. So let's do this here. So we've got the chat. So so we got the thrumming sound of the portal dissipates. This thrumming sound of the portal dissipates, and there's a moment of silence. The scene is one of you recognize before in battles you have fought in the aftermath thereof, but this wasn't a battle. It was a funeral, and meant to be a moment of contemplation and respect. What you see or you survey around you are broken bodies of friends and foes alike, but more tragically innocence. The silence that usually emanates after victory from trained warriors is not here this day. Women and children start to scream, men sob, nobles start to bark orders. Arno and Galandra try to help who they can with whatever powers they have left within them, but it's not enough for everyone. The look of children's faces as you've informed them that they are unable to help their mothers, the heartbreak of telling a dying soldier that there's nothing they can do for them, the sinking feeling that there was too close, and recognition that your foe is an enemy that will never stop, and more innocents and maybe even friends will die. Basically, we carry on. We've got a few sort of bits and pieces. You did this, crying fathers, people blaming them for what's happened. We then have a moment where one of the Triarch Suburn, comes up and says, I knew you would be trouble. I was right. Triarch Taunt's dead. His daughter's badly injured and my people slain. Our army's decimated, and all because of what? You may be heroes here for these little-minded for some reason, but all you have brought to our land is war and death. You will answer for this. Mark my words. He stomps off.
It's a good voice.
And he stomps off and starts sort of kind of shouting orders. Triarch Agover is sitting beside the injured General Fabius, sort of giving aid. Then we've got some bits and pieces where sort of kind of Lance and sort of basically says to Lady Taunt, we will leave if you want us to. She's very weak. She's nearly been killed. She's quite weak, and she's sort of in the process of saying, no, it's fine. Again, you can read this on the Discord if you want to sort of kind of.
Val's on his way, by the way. Val is on his way.
Oh, Val is on his way. Okay.
He completely forgot it was Thursday.
That's it. He's 10 minutes out. He's inbound.
He's coming. Haha.
Okay. So Lady Taunt sort of says, this happening, and then Val rocks up, and basically starts to incite rebellion, and says to her that he thinks that she should be the queen of Babylon and the Triarchy should be down, and he will serve her, which she was too sort of badly hurt to sort of kind of reply to. Obviously, Tharval runs over to try and help Nanook. Arno sort of helps Nanook revive, and then has quite a long conversation with Thomas about odd happenings and why he talks to himself and things like that, which went on in another chat. After that, I've sort of moved things forward, and this is where we sort of end up. Everybody sort of kind of did what they can at the site of the funeral / massacre, and have started making their way back to Falcross. Falcross is
Way.
he's back. He's back.
It's Thursday, by the way, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I realised that when my alarm for my searchling went off. I was like, wait a minute, it's 9 o'clock?
Can't take him anywhere.
Yeah, so we were just talking about your sort of your inciting of rebellion in Balon, and
yeah, no, it's worth it.
Yep. And so you've all made your way back to Falcross. Lady Taunt is sort of resting there in the Babbling Bat while she sort of moved on to Taunt to sort of kind of be to kind of helped by the local doctors and things like that. But as Falcross is sort of kind of halfway there, that's where we are going. So we are all in the Babbling Bat. I'll say you spend the rest of the day helping who you can, trying to explain to those that will listen about that happened and why their loved ones are dead. Some understand, others say nothing. Many look at you with sadness, anger, even betrayal in their eyes. This day is long, and all that is wrought is death. You walk back to the town of Falcross and set up in the Babbling Bat. The usually raucous inn is subdued and quiet. You sit having a drink in the main bar area. So that's kind of where we are now. Yeah. So let's go from there. I'll move you on to this little picture because I can't find the old map that we had of Falcross setting, but let's move us here. Okay, so let's go from there. So you're in Falcross, and I will move this on to this. You're in the Babbling Bat. Now, because you've turned up, but everything's moved, I'll have to. While you're talking about things, I will move everybody's pictures around because somebody was late to mess with my pictures.
Sorry.
Yeah. So go from there. It's it's very. I'll put tavern music on, but it's it's
somber.
It's yeah. I'll put our usual tavern music on, but it's not a happy time for you all at this moment in time. So have a chat.
And there's a flying Arno in
the lampshade. It's so beautiful.
Look into my eyes.
In fact, I think somebody else might have something to say.
Uh-oh.
In fact,
Draken.
somebody else might have
Are our,
some,
parent,
Pete
are our
just
parents
joined.
about to turn up and tell us off?
somebody else might have something to say. Oh, who's this? Who's this stranger who's just joined?
No
Who's
way!
just joined the chat?
Hello, Danny.
General Fabulous.
Or should I say?
She's back!
Yay!
She's
Welcome back.
Yeah.
How long has it
Hello.
been? How long has it been, Danny?
2 years.
2 years. My God,
Wow.
that's mad. Absolutely mad.
Almost 2 years.
So, this is Conrad, aka Arno Jerkel, our new bard. This is Danny, our
Long forgotten cleric.
long forgotten cleric, and the Glandra. So she's back.
Yeah.
She's back. We now are
He's
not
heard
a
of
full
Glandra.
sausage fest anymore. And I will move things around so everybody can see where everybody is for a minute. So, Glandra, it's your first day back. All this shit's happened. I'm sure you've got things you want to say.
Bear with me, like it's been 2 years. It's going to take me a minute.
Okay.
to
So
get
this is
back into-
a dice. It has multiple sides.
trying to upgrade my character on Roll20 took me about an hour trying to figure out, remember what everyone was doing.
Okay, so you're in the Babbling Bat. You know, shit has gone down. You're sitting there, basically taking it all in. Does anybody have anything to say?
In true Galandra fashion, I will pour myself a drink.
Yes.
So you haven't covered everything that's in the RP cat, have you? So do I need
I-
to make that
I
bit
have-
happen?
Yeah. So you can, if there's anything I've missed in my sort of kind of quick update,
You
then
can
you can.
relive the axe conversation because it'll be more fun in real life.
No,
Yes.
it's not gonna be. I'm terrible at talking as my character.
So anyway, while everybody's drinking, obviously it's not something I partake of. I slip out the door for a little while, and I come back through the main door, and I stride up to the table and I put a bundle on the table, and as I open it up,
Is it
I
covered in
reveal
mud?
Draken's axe, and I say, "It seems to me that, with our friend having been taken from us, that if we're going to get him back, I feel that it's only fair that he should come along, because his father has committed crimes on him, and to him, and in his name, so he should be with us until we can lay him to rest."
Matt's just moving the pictures around.
Trying to get everybody in
Hi,
place because
hi, Tom.
people turned up late. So I'm just sort of like, two of yous.
Okay, it wasn't just me. That's good then.
Yeah.
I feel better now.
Mine was planned to be late.
Well,
Okay.
That's not something Wes's been accused of.
Need to do
okay.
need to do dummies.
So Val looks at the axe and then looks up at Lance, and he says, "I'm not gonna bother to read what I put, but
Just roll with
Go
it.
on, read it. Read it.
just roll with it.
You-
No,
you're just
I'm gonna say
reading
it. I'm
the
gonna say
text
it. No,
then.
I'm gonna say it. But yeah, but I can't do that. I can't do that, Conrad. Right. Anyway, he says our comrade's barely been cold a week, and you're already pilfering his tomb.
Let's put it this way. If I was pilfering his tomb, why would I come here and put it in front of you? My point is very simple. He has been a part of this group from the very beginning. And he gave his life to protect us. And he has been despoiled by his father. And I don't think that he would want to sit by while such a travesty occurred. What I'm proposing is very simple. Should I fall, and should our comrade not be with us, that one of you take up the axe in our place. This axe is a visible reminder that we need to find his father and reclaim our comrade to return to his resting place.
this something you agree with, Val, or do you want him to
No,
try and
Val
persuade?
says, a father's love is complicated, something a construct could not understand. Leaving anything at Draken's gravesite would have been more honourable than taking his axe from it.
His horn's still there, and there are a number of other items of his which are still in place. But
Yeah, but his body's not.
but the whole
Is-
point
is it-
is, we need to return his body, and we need to have a reminder that no matter what else we're doing, that oath needs to remain true.
So Andrew takes another sip.
Like, awkward! Awkward!
I say nothing has changed.
Okay, so is this something anybody else wants to... Is this objection of Valishos, is this anything anybody else wants to mention or talk about? Or do we... Well, actually, yeah, so does anybody have any views on this? Before I sort of push...
Who currently has the axe at the moment is of no consequence. We were holding a funeral for our friend, and he's not been buried. He's been taken, and in doing so, in the process of doing so, many innocent lives have been lost. Which comes down to us. We are responsible for Draken's body. We are responsible for these people. The axe, who has the axe means nothing. Ooh, tumbleweed.
Tom says, if you're going to take a guy's axe from his dead hands, you might as well wear his skin and scale armor. Fuck it. Wow.
I literally said to him when he's in bed right there. I literally was like, stop, don't start texting on the chat until I'm actually in it.
It's been a while, Tom. It's been a while. Okay,
He hasn't forgotten us.
so Val, is this an objection you want to carry on, or is it one you'll just sort of
Begrudgingly accept.
Yeah, begrudgingly
I think it's going to have to be that way if no one else shares his sentiment.
Any other
I would
views?
ask-
I'll look across the table and say, just keep it away from me.
I promise I have a better place to rest it than between your eyes.
Okay. Arno, where are you at this moment? Are you sitting with them? Are you sort of kind of away from them? How are you sort of kind of dealing with this situation?
I'm closer than I was in previous nights. Obviously, he's not alone in the corner, but he's still sort of distant. He will be on, if there's like a big table there, he might be on that table, keeping to himself, but on the far end of it, where there's very few people, behind him. He's always got like a wall to his back. He's always the last man, as it were. But he's sort of listening. You can tell that he's listening. He doesn't chime in except for the when he shouted that there was nobody. So you can tell he's a little bit sour.
Is there anything
about this?
Do you want to elaborate on that? Is that something you might feel sort of like you want to scold them about, or say anything, or?
No, I think that he made his he gave Tharavel a look when he healed Nanook, and after his discussion with Thomas, I think he vented a little bit there. And he just doesn't feel completely integrated into this party right now, so I don't think he'd be jumping in. He's just a little bit moody, but quiet.
Okay. Is there anything anybody else wants to talk about at this juncture? About anything about discussions and what's happening next? What anything? Is there anything?
The only thing I would ask is, would Val have anything to say? Number one, would he know that Arno cast a mind controlling spell on him? And if he did, how would he feel about that?
Right, Danny's done it before. I remember.
Oh yeah, I can't forget about that.
I just want to know if like Val would have understood, and then
His
when
mind was in control.
well,
Or not in control.
no, that he would understand why Arno did it, and then also he would have known when I released that control of you, when things started going a different direction. I just don't know. Like, we haven't had any interaction since between Val and
Val
Arno.
just assumes that Arno is a coward.
Okay,
Shots fired.
that's fair.
But he's not really dissuading that. He sort of does stuff, but he does keep himself out of distance and stuff. So I think he's,
Sometimes vertically,
Yep.
sometimes
It's
horizontally.
fair, but there's a difference between
the same
does
thing
Val
happened
think
in
he's
the
a coward?
tunnels as well.
Yeah, does Val think he's a coward, or does he like? Is there an outburst that he's going to call him a
No,
coward?
there's no outburst.
Okay,
if
no,
Val
that's
thinks
fine
he's
then.
one, he
Yeah.
can prove otherwise. But yeah,
No problem. Cool.
okay. Right. This is okay. So.
Why are you laughing?
Because this moment,
Drama.
this moment here is going to go one way or it's going to go another,
Oh,
and
I hate when you do this.
it's going to go one way or it's going to go another, and
You mean you didn't miss it?
yeah. Okay, so
Don't miss
right,
the
I need
anxiety.
somebody to. I want you to roll me perception.
oh no.
That's actually something I'm good at, but it's hey ho. Fuck, how do I roll perception?
Click on it.
I think you just
Uh,
knocked your
no.
webcam off.
She's got a boob shot. Here you go, gents. This is what you've been
Well,
missing.
Well, that's what Tom was texting me, telling me. He was like, you knew when you're moving everyone's pictures around for ages, it was just my tits
Oh,
on the
really?
screen. Like, you couldn't see my face or nothing.
Oh, look, we've got so many viewers now.
I'll get them up.
You.
Okay.
Yeah, that was last week.
Yeah, you missed it. Episode 69 was all the innuendos.
In your
I did watch.
window.
I've watched the last couple, and I watched that last one thinking, what the fuck are you guys doing? But hey ho.
Second one's Elderith, by the way.
Yep.
And the second one is Cerebell as well.
Okay. So
Yeah,
Just so that-
Arno has no clue.
just an FYI, so Lady Taunt is sort of kind of currently bedridden, being looked after. So is.
Are we still forgetting Gregor every time we go
No,
anywhere?
he was there. He was there, and he actually, he
Dead, didn't he?
He did all right.
He was
did,
there.
yeah,
He
you'd
was
be-
there.
you'd been proud of him.
Yeah.
He went
Yeah.
down, he came back up.
Yeah, he only died a little bit.
He's,
That's the point, you haven't met Sally yet either, have you?
yeah,
Did I
Sally.
give him the sword? Which one did I give the sword to? I need to get that back.
No, because
That
he
ended
picked
up with
up-
Lady
I
Taunt.
think he picked up, or did Lily Taunt pick up his ways being?
He handed his
No.
pain to Lady
No, I
Todd,
gave
didn't he?
someone
That's it.
Holy Avenger as well.
Oh, okay. We'll just assume it got straightened out, shall we?
Has someone
Yeah,
got
we'll
my
just
sword?
assume.
No, you've got it back. You got it back.
I was gonna say.
So are people sort of kind of missing because they're sort of kind of they're recovering, and
Gregor
alright.
doesn't get to come to the tavern, obviously.
yeah,
Being,
Gregor's sort
being
of
16.
no Gregor's there. He he's always with you. Like he's just won't. He's,
Following my little puppy around.
he's always sort of kind of he's sort of taken it upon himself to be your protector sort of thing. He's he's got a few levels in him now, and he's feeling a bit more confident, even though he's not. He's still Gregor, but he's got that sort of thing that he feels like he needs to sort of always be around you. So we've got
Is that
that.
because I hit on him in the first time we met him?
No. Oh, and by the way, Danny thought Sally was Thomas's girlfriend or wife.
Honestly, from an outside perspective, watching I only watched the last kind of couple of ones. I haven't watched the whole time, so I didn't know who she was. and all I kept seeing was like Sally holds Thomas's hand and he's running after her, and I'm like, has he got a missus?
No, he's
And
just
then-
grooming her. He's just grooming her.
Yeah, Thomas's middle name is Jimmel. Right. Okay. So, as you're sort of sitting there and you've had that slightly awkward moment about the axe, and Arno's sort of kind of off, sort of like within earshot, but not sitting with yous. You do sort of kind of notice there are a few people who are just sort of looking at you, sort of with a few sort of kind of angry-ish faces, but nothing sort of kind of major. Just sort of it's a bit of a strange day, and a lot of people have been killed. You do hear a lot of footsteps. You hear marching. You hear
Oh dear.
you hear a lot of sort of kind of you hear this sort of kind of like you hear the sound of marching coming, getting closer and closer.
Ryak alert. I pick up the
Problem for
axe and turn to the door.
Val stands up and moves to the door as well.
Must moves away from the door.
Okay, are you going outside? Are you gonna?
I'm standing by the door waiting to see who comes through.
I'm gonna go outside and confront it.
You're walking
I
outside.
guess I'll be following him then.
Yeah.
Aravel and Ceravel sort of back off into a darkened corner and hide.
Galandra keeps sipping her drink.
Yeah. Watch
Arno
you
will
guys
be-
go one way, watch the other guys go the other way, and just be like, I'll just keep on drinking and just figure out where I want to go.
I'm gonna go and cower behind the bar. Not cower, but just kind of get some cover.
Sally's going to stand there on her own, as she always
Well,
does.
so that's what Sally does.
Ooh, Ceravel's particularly stealthy.
Arno is gonna throw up his cloak,
As
and
opposed to his
also
drink.
sort of retreat into
Yeah,
his
I thought you were going to say drink as well.
into another corner of darkness and watching the suspicious movements of.
Okay,
These
so
guys.
Valashil sort of kind of opens the door and sort of kind of walks out. You see this scene of a full sort of retinue of soldiers. There's hundreds of them. Start walking into town, and they start to sort of kind of move themselves around the babbling bat. They've They start to sort of make their way to surround the entire establishment.
Arno will kind of just look up momentarily, put his hand in his pocket, and completely vanish.
That's
Okay.
better than the other thing you did. Put
Precious.
your hand in your pocket.
Val looks. Is there like a clear, distinct leader amongst them?
Yeah, so
Or, like,
they as he's doing this, an officer walks forward, and says, what would he call you by? What would your group? What do we do? Because it wouldn't be like the heroes of,
Dickheads.
yeah. So it's like,
Hey, assholes.
hey assholes. No,
Asshole.
he says,
Might just call us mercenaries.
he says, yeah,
miscreants.
will the he's. Let's see how I was going to do this. In the name of the Triarchy, I demand that the so-called heroes of Falcross Bridge, Silkside, and Kibberath show their faces.
I step
Val
forward
looks
and
over
growl.
his shoulder at Lance, and then
I step forward and growl and say, I'm not hiding my face, sir.
He's sort of slightly taken aback a bit, sort of kind of backs off slightly, coughs a bit as the soldiers sort of kind of form up in ranks surrounding the building. They go, he's like, Triarch Subban insists that you all pay for the crimes you have committed this day. You are all to be arrested and taken from this place under penalty of treason, conspiracy with the enemy, and murder. How do you plead?
I look at Lance. I look across to Val for a second, and I nod and wait for him to see if he acknowledges.
Valashul nods as well.
I plead very, very tired, very, very annoyed, and very much lacking in the sense of humour you seem to think I possess. We didn't get to bury our comrade who died for your people today, and died quite badly. We had to watch as he was taken from us by his father, who consorts with the same spawn that took your own Triarch's life. And now you decided you want us in chains. I'm pretty sure that at least some of your colleagues remember exactly how our fallen comrade felt about chains. I have to say that right now, I'm a very big fan of not wearing chains. Would anybody here like to come forward and try to put me in chains?
He says, menacing words from you, traitor. Something more than I would expect. You can come quietly, or we can take you by force. But I do not want any more death this day, more than you have already caused. You can be put in front of the Triarchy. Say your piece, and let the gods see if you're innocent or not, or I guess it will have to be done the hard way.
I once stood before a man far more worthy than you, many, many years ago, who held me responsible for something I also had not done. And his answer was to put me in a room and brick it closed and leave me there for several centuries. I now stand before you, and I wish to no further death. But since you have apparently lost any manners that your mother and your father may have taught you, and since you apparently feel so strongly about us coming somewhere that you did not think to actually ask, I would simply ask all of your men that you're so happy to throw at us in order to get your own way, which one of you is going to step forward first? Because I hold my friend's axe. And my friend's axe is part of my promise that I will find his body, reclaim it, and return it to where it's supposed to be. And if necessary, should someone stand in my way, I vow very strongly that they will get two options, and one of them involves running away.
Val steps past Lance and walks up to the captain, raises his right hand across to his left shoulder, and then backhands him across the face.
Love it.
Oh no!
In slow motion like that.
Oh, okay.
I challenge thee to a duel.
He's still wearing his gauntlets.
Yeah, he is. After the connection's made, Val looks up to all the other guards and he says, I am the authority of the gods. Your mortal laws mean nothing to me, and you should show more gratitude to your saviors. Otherwise, your brains would have all been soup for a god you would not understand.
Welcome back, Danny.
Oh, wow.
Welcome back. Oh my god.
That was nice now. He's just like, what's happening?
Okay.
I am sweating.
While this is going on, Sally's just going to disguise herself as another inn patron so that she doesn't get put back in jail again.
Right, as you sort of kind of backhand the captain, he sort of kind of stumbles over. A lot of the men sort of are slightly taken back by this, but they sort of kind of pull their spears down and point them towards you. Some of them have those firearms that you witnessed.
Boomsticks.
Yeah, the boomsticks that you witnessed at Falcross Bridge many.
Oh, they want to play that game, do
Yeah.
they? I've got one of those.
And they sort of.
It's not episode 69, Thomas. You're not allowed to say that anymore.
And they the guy sort of kind of puts his hand up and it says, "You have struck the agent of the Triarchy. This just shows exactly what Triarch Subban was worried about. Your treachery to these people. You see this?" He starts pointing to the people who are watching around you in Falcross. You've seen this. These people come to our land, kill our soldiers, strike their representatives. Look at this. These are your heroes.
I am right in thinking that Lady Tunt is kind of like the de facto leader of the Triarchs, right? Like her dad was kind of the head Triarch.
He was the sort of kind of the primary. I don't know how what you would call it, but out of the Triarch, he was the sort of like in charge. But he's dead, and there's being no sort of coronation ceremony of her. So there isn't currently. She isn't really a Triarch, though she probably would be. So before these two guys literally start a war on their own, does anybody else have anything they want to say?
Yes. Fuck yes. So
Daddy's back.
I walk out and make it rain and tell everybody to cool the fuck down.
Make it rain.
So it's now raining. Everyone's now soaking wet because everyone needs to chill.
No
Is this
boomsticks.
inside, though?
No boomsticks, boys.
No,
Let's
I've
have 'em.
walked out. I wrote.
Oh, is
a
this
note.
happening outside? Oh,
Yeah,
Yes.
this is all outside.
This is that's like my signature. I make it rain a lot.
Bertha, 1 minute. I've got to let my dog out.
Shocking. It was that time.
Yes, by all means. Jesus Christ, I'm sweating.
We had a bad day.
Bad 2, 3, 5 days so far.
I'm getting my Civil War. I'm happy.
Danny, you'll understand this. A whole load of NPCs died, and like they're kicking up a big fuss. You don't care about NPCs.
I like the way
I don't
they've
care
just
about
instantly
I don't care
forgotten that
about
we
NPCs.
saved
I
them,
care
though.
about us.
Well, it's not they.
There's thousands of men out there.
Okay, let me paint the picture for you. You have there are certain areas.
Thousands.
There's certain areas that Falcross and stuff. They know what you've done for them. People know what you've done for them and stuff. But if there has been a lot of death. There has been a lot of people killed. It all seems to revolve around you lot. There always seems, as much as you are sort of kind of winning these battles and stuff, there's going to be talk about this, like, yeah, but these things weren't happening until they turned up. These things, yeah, fine, they're winning these battles, but where they seem to just find these cultists, what's happening, why are they doing this? People will just sort of kind of go, well, no, they're heroes. So there is going to be a bit of back and forth. There is going to be people who will fully be on your side, but there will be people who think it's very suspicious that suddenly you guys turn up, there's suddenly a load of fighting going on in their land, and then at the end of it, a massacre's happened at a funeral, and you guys are at the center of it again.
Can we explain to them that it's not our fault? The DM did it.
So how many civilians are present? Like, is the whole town here?
Well, you've got sort of you've got easily about 200 soldiers sort of surrounding the area. You've got about 200
environment.
You've got about 200 soldiers sort of in the area. You've got civilians sort of who are now starting to walk up behind sort of the cordon effectively and start lurking and start kind of seeing what's going on. there's lots of mumbling, lots of people who are sort of unsure of what's
Standing in the
happening.
rain, getting wet.
Yeah, standing in the
Okay,
rain.
so where are we again?
You're outside the babbling pot.
And where is that?
That is okay. So we will. I'll see if I get a map. Falcross again. Oh, here we go. Falcross. Whoosh.
Is that where we are, Falcross? Yeah.
Yeah, you're in Falcross.
Yep.
So Val looks around to the encroaching citizens of Valcross and raises his voice to try and gain their attention. And he says, "Who of you here thinks we should stand trial for these supposed crimes that we've committed?"
Ooh, good one.
Ooh, interesting. See if I get something that looks.
Everyone raises their hands.
If they do, then that's fine. Val will go. Oh, okay, I
Alright.
see.
Okay.
With the tail between your legs.
Yeah. How many? Okay.
You can roll the dice.
Because let me see.
I did not. Did I put? No, I didn't. That's fine.
Okay.
Doesn't
Because you have protected this village especially, and you are fond. There's a good sort of 50 people who I've given you a discount on it. 50 people sort of who've sort of kind of said like it's carried on by the blacksmith. It says, yeah, they bloody cut off my hand. Look at me, I can't even do business. My sons were
Val
hurt because of it.
interjects and says, "Did I not heal your son's injured leg and make amends for the previous actions towards you?"
He doesn't listen to you. He just sort of kind of he's just saying, he's sort of embittered by the whole things, and he's using this as a way.
I
to...
smite him. No.
And you've got a few others now. You start getting this sort of a bit of an argument happening within the crowd itself. More believe you than don't believe you, but there are a lot of soldiers in the area, and
Hint, hint. Don't be stupid.
there are a lot of soldiers in the area, so it's
I've learned in my short time here, Danny, that they don't take hints.
No, not at all.
Um,
Now you know why I left for 2 years.
Okay. So
childbirth was more preferable to this whole thing.
It wasn't. It wasn't. It really wasn't.
to be fair, you had no one to blame but yourself. You'd already been there once.
This was a whole new kettle of fish. We'll not get into that.
Okay. So I look around and I find a crate that's been near to the door, and I get up on top so that I stand out, and I turn to the crowd, and I boom, "Silence!" And I turn to the soldiers and I say, "Not that long ago, you or your comrades stood alongside us before battlements to face down a great evil. On that day, we were proud to stand with you, and we were proud to represent your Triarch and the Lady Taunt in preserving you from something that could have been an awful lot worse than it was. Many of you fell, and we grieved with you, and we helped you to bury them, and we helped you, and we helped to heal you. Since that day, we have spent all of our time doing the bidding of your Triarch, and in his absence, the Lady Taunt. We have helped to build. We have helped to clear problems. We have rooted out foul cultists that wanted to destroy your city and enslave you all. And this is how you thank us. We came here because we were asked to stay here. We travelled looking for a great evil. We stayed here because we were asked to help. When your Triarch was taken, we did everything we could to recover him, and we paid a price ourselves. We have buried several of our comrades along the way, and so you stand here with this lackluster, water-spined toady, and you tell us that we are now traitors. I want to know, do you really believe this?
Roll me.
Do you really believe that he is serving the matter of right? Or is he just serving an urge for power? Where's your Lady Taunt at the moment? Where is Lady Taunt? Has she asked this?
Is anybody else going to say anything?
I'm working on something here, but
I'm not even outside yet.
Is Farival and Serval, did they go outside? Or are you still hiding?
they're sneaking about the place so they can sort of hear and see what's going on, but
They're lurking. They do that lots.
Yeah.
I've walked out and I'm just currently just staring at the group, trying to figure out what to say in true Galandra fashion.
Okay, you hear sort of a lot of mumbling. Roll me, if nobody else is saying anything, roll me a persuasion check.
Not my best option.
Yeah, roll me a persuasion check.
Yeah, that didn't go as well as it could have done, but it didn't go as badly as it could have done.
You hear a lot of mumbling, but nobody sort of really says anything. If it's because they're intimidated by the soldiers, or if they're just sort of they're just not sure how to feel about things. Some of them will have lost. Some of them will obviously be very grateful for what you've done for them. Others will have lost people. Some will see the fact that you could have saved their families' lives at the funeral and you didn't, as sort of, that's hard for them to swallow. So you're not really getting anything. The captain of the guard sort of turns to us and says, "You see, nobody's coming to your help now. You can stand trial like honorable men, or you can die like the dogs you will be. We be dogs the Triarch thinks you are."
Will this trial be held by the Triarch? Will he be present?
So are you asking this? Are you asking
No,
this?
no. I thought. No, I'm not asking. I just thought maybe.
In theory, the Triarchs are probably
be
the ultimate
present.
authority.
Yeah.
They will probably be the judge.
So I'll do this. So as you're sort of as you're sort of kind of saying this, and the captain sort of basically says you can take the trial or not. Lady Taunt, being held up by guard Captain Anders, exits out of the babbling bat. She gives a sort of a half grin to Galandra as she sort of looks out, and then sort of gets carried to the center of the cordon, and she says weakly, "God, Captain, what is the meaning of this?" And he's like, "Lady Taunt, I'm afraid that your companions are to be tried at the court of the Triarchy. You know the laws of this land. As your father is gone, it has been decided by Triarch Suburn, the new Supreme Triarch, that they was tried for the crimes." She looks around at herself, at everybody. She looks around at you. And
Galandra gives her a wink.
she sort of kind of gives you another sort of wry grin. And she said, "These companions are not subject to Balin's rules. These companions have helped us saved this land more than once. How can they be traitors? How can they be... And then she sort of kind of falls over slightly as sort of like her injuries are starting to get in the back of her. Guard captain sort of holds her up and she sort of kind of waves him off a bit. Lady Taunt, I believe your wounds are too great to be here. Guard Captain Anders, take her inside and make sure she's fine. Guard captain sort of doesn't really know what to do, but she sort of holds him back.
Val looks at Guard Captain Anders and says, disregard that order, and then steps up to Lady Taunt, puts his hand on her shoulder, and casts Healing Hands upon her to give her some new vitality, I guess.
Okay, cool. As you sort of kind of put your hands on her and she sort of physically perks up a bit more, you hear sort of gasps and you hear sort of, some of them sort of kind of witchcraft, and then another person sort of kind of going, you see, and the angel, and there's lots of sort of conflicting sort of things going on in the crowd.
He's a witch. May we burn him?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So she asks what they're being charged for. He says that he lists out the charges and ends with the sort of the deaths of the civilians at the funeral, and she sort of kind of lowers her head, and she says the funeral was a what's the word I'm looking for?
Unforeseen.
Yeah, an unforeseen and unfortunate event. Unfortunately, at these times with this darkness around us, there will be deaths. But these heroes cannot be held responsible for all of they've done. As she says this, one of the civilians sort of kind of parks up and says, "They could have stopped it. My Johnny was there, and instead of protecting him, they attacked instead of protecting us. If they're heroes, why were we not protected? Why is my Johnny dead?"
Val pipes up and says, perhaps you should ask these soldiers why they weren't there in the first place. Their parade would have been much better at the funeral.
Touché.
Okay, is anybody else saying anything?
Yeah.
Ooh, you're coming out.
Of the closet?
Pretty
Hiya,
much.
fellas. My name's Darvel. I like large
Where's
shafts.
General Squealer?
Okay. Yeah. So I was just sort of writing something up there. Yeah. It's again going with what I normally do. I sort of try and take stuff from films and stuff like that, so that might sound familiar.
Is
Okay.
it about him?
No. Did you cry?
I was close.
Yes. I'll take that as a win. Despite the fact that I was crying, but I mean. Okay.
It was more often you two cry than the actual words.
Right. Okay, so after hearing all this, Tharaval, he sort of understands the responsibility and the view of the townsfolk, but it's basically he sort of understands that it's kind of stuck in between a sort of rock and a hard place. We've been so used to winning by this point that people are basically looking to point the finger. So he sort of comes out from behind the door. He's got his cloak up and he pulls the cloak down, and the crowd sort of goes a wee bit sort of quiet, Is he sort of standing on the steps, sort of overlooking them? And he says, "We aren't heroes. We're what Valen needs us to be. We know the evils that are beyond these shores and threaten these lands. We do what we need and must for the greater good. The greater good? The real heroes are the soldiers that stand between evil and good. The real heroes are the likes of Lady Taunt and her late father, who know and support our ways. Battles aren't always won, and the enemy is not always known. We have stood in battle with many of you here, and we are victorious despite the loss of many lives. And after those battles, we celebrated. In this case, our enemy appeared unprovoked at the most inconsiderate of times, at a funeral where we wished to honor our dead. We made actions against this evil, and we very nearly won. But again, many lives were lost, for which I am sorry. If you wish to point the finger, then let it be us. Condemn us, brand us as outlaws, set the dogs on us. We will continue to fight for these lands nonetheless. Despite your thoughts on us, we are not your enemy. We are guardians and protectors. If you wish to hunt us, then do so. We can take it."
Oh. Whoosh.
Well said.
Well said, Bruce.
Have an inspiration point.
Yeah! Thanks very much, Batman.
The speech does. Roll me a persuasion. You can have advantage on it.
Persuasion.
You have just given him the idea to set dogs on us, though.
Like I said, we can take
Werewolves.
it. I've got a big dog.
We've already had vampires. You don't need werewolves as well.
Okay.
There we go, 18.
So a lot of people sort of nod their heads. You notice some of the soldiers are even sort of, breaking discipline slightly and sort of mumbling to each other. The captain of the guard says, "That's a very nice speech you have there, but it's irrelevant. You either adhere to this land's justice and come with us, or you face the consequences. That is the land. Is that not right, Lady Taunt?" She sort of kind of lowers her head slightly, and she's like, and who is to lead this this court? I have not been ordained as Triarch yet. And he says, it will be myself and Triarch Argover. You, my lady, unfortunately have not been ordained and therefore cannot sit on the council. I'm sorry. She's conflicted because she knows the laws, but she doesn't want to see you. She doesn't want to see you hurt. Effectively, she doesn't want to see you sort of taken for something that she doesn't believe is your fault. Okay, so you have a decision to make now. You can just say no, or you can submit to the trial, basically. I will add an additional thing which may or may not provoke you. He turns around and says, actually no. I'll let you decide first, and then I will do the additional thing if depending on what you say.
They let Gibbons go.
What are you deciding? What are you going to submit to trial, or are you going to refuse it?
Valishor refuses. He knows he's not guilty, and this whole trial is a farce. He's not going to go along with it.
Does it need to be a majority thing?
They'll never take me alive.
Like, would Val allow if the other party members sort of submit, and would they be able to talk him into just going along?
Well, I think that's kind of something you have to work out between yourselves. Like, if he really doesn't want to go, then it's up to him. But it's sort of
I mean, we've had those conversations in the past where it just ends up being you're going to have to roll for it because you can't
Yeah.
agree.
It's gonna have to be one of those.
so. What is everybody else's? So you've got one for literally refusing to submit. What is everybody else saying?
I have no faith in this trial.
Does that mean you do not submit?
Yes.
So two against.
I'm staying in the inn. I'm not even going out.
What about
you've
Sally now she's in disguise? Have you sent
That's
her out
exact-
there?
No, she's in disguise and just hoping that no one pays too much attention to her.
Her name is now Tally, and she has different colour hair.
That's it.
I'm going to look at Lady Tont and see if I can get some sort of thing of what she thinks we should do. Would there be perception or insight? I don't know.
It'd be insight potentially, but I'll give you the perception.
I'll do.
Yeah.
Oh, insight.
There we
Go
go.
with insight.
Yeah. So she, you can tell she's conflicted. She knows that it's probably not going to be the fairest of trials because Suburn is a grade A asshole. But Agover isn't, Agover is an unknown quantity, and he is Fabius is part of Agover's retinue, and she.
Does it have to be some sort of like majority thing? Like, is it literally their two words? Decide the fate. Is that how they work, or like how is it? One says yes, one says no to being guilty for it.
I've got to decide. The trial side of things is going to be something that will come up after you've decided what's going to happen first. The trial, if there is a trial, the mechanics for that will be established later. Yeah. So she.
I'm still looking at Lady Tont. Like, give me something.
She believes in the laws of her land. She believes in her people and stuff. So she doesn't want to go against her. You can tell she's conflicted. I think it's the best you're going to get from her. She's conflicted because on one side, this is her land, this is her people. She knows the laws. Her father upheld those laws, and she doesn't really want to go against his, what she would believe his wishes. But conversely, she doesn't want you to get sort of
I want to see a side piece killed.
Yeah, her side piece killed, yeah, after she's just come back. So she is she's conflicted.
So you're not giving me an answer. Okay, we've established that.
Yeah,
that's fine.
she's conflicted.
How many soldiers are there? Like, there's way more soldiers than there was Dragonborn. Like,
Yeah.
it's overwhelmingly so.
Yeah.
There's about 200 of them surrounding the place.
How many soldiers' heads could one arrow go through?
Is there anything
lightning
in
damage,
Balon's
a few.
laws about me dueling to forego this?
Well,
Yeah,
you already
Have-
whacked him
have,
across the
have
face
you-
with your glove.
Yeah, because
Have
dueling
you,
works so
have you-
well for you.
Have your dueling abilities increased in the last 2
No,
years?
but
or-
I can compel him to duel, then fly away.
He's resistant.
Yeah, he's resistant.
Resistant.
Listen, okay,
He's
I didn't
resistant
cheat
to an
when we
apple
dueled,
pin.
okay?
He's resistant to rolling high numbers on dice.
That's right.
Unless he's looking for low numbers.
Okay, so we've got 2 against. We've got Galandra undecided. We've got Thomas hiding.
Is
I
there
think
a-
the word
is
is
there-
abstaining.
Is there a back door to the inn?
Yeah, but it's
They
surrounded.
surrounded
You
it.
are surrounded.
They've surrounded it.
You're surrounded.
Okay.
But
How-
he won't know
what-
that when he's in there. You can just let him try and go through the back door straight into the soldiers.
Yeah, so you
Well,
sort of kind of
They're
go
not
out the,
windows?
you sort of kind of whistle and start walking out the back door.
I was going to say there's bound. I'm not just going to walk out blind. I'm going to check first.
Okay, yeah,
The
so
rinse wind is strong
you
in
sort
this
of
way.
like open up the curtains slightly, and you see a load of soldiers.
At what distance are they surrounding?
I don't know. Like there's a cordoning around it, so I don't know, 100 feet or something like that.
Okay.
So in the last 2 years, you're telling me that nobody's learned any sort of teleportation spell?
Oh,
yes.
I've got one. It has look at the 100-foot range.
Yeah, it's not. Is the range isn't quite that. Oh, hold on. No, it's not. No, it's not. And also, I've got the teleport spell. I just can't use it yet.
Right.
I've got
Is
Misty
it
Step.
like mass? Is it mass
Actually, no, I don't have
teleportation or
Alright,
just yourself?
I want you to you want you to think about this and potential repercussions. Okay, so if you submit to trial, then if you don't submit to trial, you're going to probably have to fight your way out of this. Now, there's obviously going to have knock-on
Not
effects
happening.
with
No way.
the soldiers and Balon in the same in total. So you may have got 75% of people with you, but you could push that against you. So I'm happy for you to go either way, and we can go whatever you want to do. But just bear in mind that if you fight your way out of this, it's not going to help your reputation.
I think it's time for my 3-word catchphrase. They started it.
Well, technically,
So,
technically you guys started it, but you know.
Galandra walks up to Lady Taunt, kneels in front of her, and puts her arms up in this position.
Huh? What?
What position?
There's a guiding bolt coming.
That's like, as in, chain me.
Shackle. Yeah.
All right, okay.
Like,
Take me in.
All right, you're getting freaky.
oh, you
Wrong
have missed this.
Your cleric sees sense, I see. Will the rest of you submit to the laws of this land?
Tharavel says there's been enough bloodshed today, and he will shed no more other than those of his enemies. And as you're not our enemy, I'm not going to shed your blood, but I'm not going to go with you willingly. And as he does that, he casts
Uh-oh.
rope trick.
Just bear in mind that they've got
He
your
just starts.
cleric on the floor.
Just whip it out and twirl
So
it
he
around.
just takes out a length of rope, which just starts to float off into the sky, and he proceeds to climb up into an extra dimensional space and disappear.
Nice.
Okay, so I've got somebody on the outside that's going to come and help me.
What does Cyril do if he
He,
sees
he,
Cyril
follow,
doing?
he follows.
So okay, so you got a lot of gasps, and you got a few people. It's the coward! Look, coward, running away! Okay, so we've got two who have abstained and gone into the ether. You got Calandra who's submitted. You got Val and Lance who are refusing.
Have you pulled the rope away?
The rope's still there.
So it says there's room for 8 medium creatures and people can just climb up it.
Yep.
Okay.
Basically, whenever any of the rope's there for anybody else who wants to climb, who wants to escape. But if any of the soldiers or anything like that come anywhere near, then the rope's getting pulled up.
Those inside can see out of it as through a 3-5 foot window center of the rope. Anything inside extra amount of space drops out their spell ends when the spell ends. How long does the spell last?
1 hour.
So they could
Or
just
how long-
they could literally just stand there and wait for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they
and
don't,
then you
they don't
fall
know
on
that.
top.
They're basically, I mean, from their point of view, they're going to be like, right, they've vanished.
Let's go home then.
Like, they're not going to go, he's vanished. Let's stand here for an hour for him to come back.
How long was your rope?
The rope, it doesn't matter. I mean, basically, the rope.
Well, it
as
does,
long as
because
you've
when you fall out of it, you're either falling 60 feet to the ground or a short.
Well, basically, he doesn't want to have to. It will look kind of foolish if he's having to climb up 60 feet and they're just standing
Just
watching
shoot
him
him with
do
an
it.
arrow.
So it's basically,
Or a boomstick.
it's basically going to be just above head height, so they can just use the rope, climb up in, and disappear.
10 foot.
I turn to Elderith and nod towards the rope, indicating that she should follow them.
Okay.
Have I condemned poor little Gregor as well? Is he stood by me or
Yeah,
what?
Gregor, seeing you kneel, also puts his sword down and kneels with you.
Oh, Gregor's into
Good
kinky
little
shit
boy.
as well.
Good boy.
Oh, gee, he's into kinky shit as well. Yeah, so
So, Thomas, what are you doing?
Arno's still hiding.
I'm legging it to and up the arrow. Not the arrow, the
Rope.
rope.
Okay.
I told you the rinse really strong with this one.
All right. Okay.
What time of day are we, by the way?
You're sort of like afternoon, mid-afternoon.
really hope Gregor's
Sally's going to
sort of like
wander out the pub and
walking
mingle with the
away.
crowd, by the way.
Okay. So that is that. Valashil and Lance, are you standing your ground? How you
Are
doing?
they looking like they're gonna try and take us by force? Like they're actually gonna?
Yeah, they will take you by force if you don't. Oh yeah, actually. So is that everybody? I forgot to do the extra bit. Is what everybody's done? Is there anything anybody else is doing at this instance before I say my next piece?
So what did everyone decide? Because it was mixed.
So Val,
It's still mixed.
So Val and Lance are refusing.
Tharavel
Sir-
went, if you can catch me, bye!
Secret tunnel! Secret tunnel!
Tharavel and Saravel have gone, fuck you guys. Sort of, we're totally the good guys, but yoink, and then sort of kind of disappeared, so abstained effectively. Yeah, so Galandra and Gregor have submitted. Thomas is up the rope with the elves. So the elves, yeah,
and
then
Eldrith as well.
and Eldrith. So all the elves are sort of together, doing elf things.
Besides me.
Yeah. Wow. Arno, are you just?
Arno is not there.
Yeah, stand put. Okay.
Well, he's not actually there. He's not in the room anymore.
Okay. So
That's some hobbit shit, that.
I wonder if Arno's ring is extra dimensional and the box that we've climbed into is extra dimensional space. Can we see Arno in extra dimensional space?
next door. Hey, how you doing?
As he goes past, going,
Okay. Right. So you hear some.
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I pray?
You
Can I pray?
Okay. You
In an
can.
attempt
You can.
to summon angels.
Okay. Before
That's
before you do,
it's a
before
bit
you,
of a backtrack on your backhand. Just backhand them and then go, just hold on a minute and let me
Hold
pray.
on, sir. Let me say my final prayer.
yeah. Before you sort of like they see a gas. In fact, right, because you've sort of like disappeared and you've thrown up a rope, I want you to roll initiative, and I want to see if they are going to be able to shoot at you while you're going up that rope, because obviously he's
Or
going
at least stop Eldereth and Thomas.
he's going to sort of he's going to say basically they're escaping, and then sort of like try and sort of shoot at you because you are trying to escape. So give me
You want me, like everybody who's going up into the box, roll initiative?
yeah. So Berth, let me get the initiative tracker out.
Even me, if I misty step to the top of the rope.
Right,
Can you misty step to the top of the rope?
If it's
I'll see
only a
why
couple
not.
of feet up, yeah.
It's basically it's a space that you can see from Misty Step. So
Yeah.
Cerevel can do the same thing. He's got Misty Step.
Okay, so you're
Nice.
you're misty stepping up it, so you don't need. You're just like that. You're just sort of vanishing up it and stuff.
Tharavel needs to climb it, and I would assume Eldrith needs to do the same.
Okay, so give me an initiative for Eldrith. She's got 13.
Do we need our tokens?
Just do
Oh,
it.
right,
Just
do that.
just do the thing, and then I'll.
So for Tharavel, his initiative.
21, and I'm just going to roll a d20 plus 2 this guy. So all right, so yeah, you get up before he sort of has a chance to sort of kind of issue any orders to sort of kind of have you.
Just before he disappears, Tharball just flips on the bird.
So long.
You hear
fuckers.
sort of you hear some gasps. As he says, as you're sort of kind of standing, the two of you are standing and two of submitting. He says, I thought you wouldn't come quietly. So we have some people here who might persuade you to come with us. He sort of nods his head as some soldiers bring crap, what's her name? What was the name of the Dragonborn? The name of the Dragonborn healer in Camberford.
Oh crikey, that's a few pages back.
Oh crap, I had her name just in my.
Began with a K, I think, didn't it?
Crap, Breath of and what her.
I don't think I watched that one.
She is
There were
called
several of them.
We're at Camberford all this time.
Camberford. She is called. How about Dragonborn leader, Jonto? Oh crap, what was her name? What? Ithrax was the name of the guy. He was dead. What was she called? Actually, no. Spreadsheet. No. Her name. Ithrax cut race is not subject. You say something. Let's see. Fuck! What was her name? It's gonna be so annoying.
Whose
Betty.
name?
The name of the Galdrax. Galdrax. That's it. That's her name. Galdrax.
Told you it began with a K.
Yeah, Galdrax. Okay, so Galdrax, she's basically thrown down at the feet of the captain. And he says, "Your base has now come under the control of Triarch Zuburn, and all of its residents are currently under arrest. They will be...
Oh dear.
They will all be executed if you refuse to join us. These things..." As he sort of kind of sniffs at the Dragonborn.
Oh, no.
As he sniffs at the Dragonborn. And
Al
says...
throws his spear at him.
I snarl as I step forward.
No,
I'd
Val
say-
throws his spear.
As you throw it, I snarl as I step forward and say, "Honourable men." And I act as if I was spitting on the floor. Can't actually spit, obviously.
Here's where like I roll an attack and it like does nothing. Just like I miss.
Right, so wait, right, okay.
You can't
right,
miss. There's hundreds of them.
right, okay,
I'm,
right.
I'm aiming for the one who's got the who's talking. He keeps doing a lot of talking, and I don't want to hear him anymore.
Can somebody gag?
What the
or
Triarch?
ban
You don't need,
or-
you don't need to
Is
spear
that
him.
who it is?
Right.
I thought it was just the
Yeah,
captain.
it's the
Okay, well, I'll
Triarch.
kill the Triarch. That's fine.
No, it's not the
Oh,
Triarch.
wow.
It's not the Triarch.
Oh,
It's not the
okay.
Triarch. It's a captain. It's the captain.
Okay, that's
Right,
fine.
right. As a,
What's
I want you to.
happening?
Do you, as a paladin, do you think is that an honourable thing to do? Do you think?
He's literally like, okay, he's got a Dragonborn there.
Yep.
And like our friend just died after like fighting for Dragonborn rights essentially and
And he
getting
just
them
took-
here,
he just took
and we
hostages.
vowed to protect them.
I will kick your ass again.
Yeah, no, I'm throwing my spear. Val is well within his rights to be upsetty spaghetti, given his lord is also like, given his lord is like herald of metallic dragons. So
Be upset inside.
Okay, so
Inside feelings.
no,
right.
I'm not human. I don't know what those are.
Okay. So you can you can chuck your spear. I can give anybody a chance. Okay. Yeah, okay.
holy
It will hit.
Fucking shit.
But
Oh,
I will
no.
give anybody. I will give you one chance to sort of to try and
Got Val.
basically push him away. So you've got. I think because I'm assuming it's only going to be Galandra, or is Lance? You're going to let him do it? Okay, Galandra, are you going to? Because you're going to have.
You're already in my book of grudges.
You're the
I am
only.
literally. You shut the fuck up.
Welcome back.
Command him to stop! Command him to stop!
Don't do it again. I
Mind
swear
control
now.
the third time.
Don't you dare.
This was definitely not what I had planned for my
Right,
first
okay. If you're
second
going to
back.
do something, I will give you roll me initiative between yous, and the person who's got the highest initiative can do their thing
Why?
first.
Why?
Oh,
Why?
fine.
Why? Oh,
21!
why?
All right.
Okay, so wait a minute. You haven't rolled initiative, have you, Val? Roll your initiative.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
fine.
yeah, it's
You just
fine.
rolled
Five.
5.
No, 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 no. Let's go again.
No,
No.
he rolled. Oh, there you go.
Roll 5.
Okay, right, okay. So Val is literally he just you can see the light in his eyes sort of kind of beam, sort of bright.
Red.
Yeah, bright red. He's sort of like, it's not even red. It's like glowing fire in his eyes. As he and you can just see him reaching for his spear to basically chuck it at this dishonorable cretin in front of him.
Is Val a humanoid?
Val
humanoid.
is
Yeah.
A
humanoid.
very large humanoid.
Give me a second.
Danny comes back, gets thrown in the deep end. Civil War.
And the
Yes.
first spell she casts is on a party member.
That's
Yes.
not unlike me, really. I wasn't a very good cleric.
Which domain are you in?
I don't know.
Life, I think,
.co.uk.
weren't you?
I'm meant to be all wholly religious, and I'm
So
just
life,
She's
not.
got
life domain.
But she's got a
Yeah.
drink. She's
She's a
got a
bit
drinking.
broken.
She's got a drinking problem, and she was technically possessed by by Tiamat's darkness at one point in time, and had to be.
But we
I had
cured that,
demon-
didn't
I
we?
had
We
demon
did that
baby.
together.
We cure. You did. You cure. Val
Don't
helped
stop
you.
me. You know I'm right.
We crossed swords in a tree.
Oh.
Is that a euphemism?
No.
No.
Well, let's just say after the tree dream, Galandra got preggers. So I'm not saying another thing.
With a demon baby.
With a demon baby.
Well, I am half an angel, kind of.
Maybe it's Ralph, maybe.
Yeah.
Never specified.
And it was very ironic that I just
The
after
lower
that,
half.
that whole thing, Danny's like, "Oh, I am actually pregnant, by the way," and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. You came up with that
Okay.
like just before I told everybody.
Okay, so I'll say this, Galandra, would you, hearing that, knowing that you've been in Camberford, and you've spent time with these people and with the Dragonborn,
They nursed you back to health.
and they nurse you back to health, would you definitely object to Val's actions? Do you feel? Or if you feel... there's your feelings, and then there's your rational thought, which, you can sort of kind of to and fro from, but sort of, how would Galandra feel about the situation? And I want you to talk it out.
Well, right, okay. I've been with these people for obviously, I'm going on 2 years now, besides the occasional battle where you've thrown me in randomly. But I wouldn't like that they've got, they're threatening all these people, but at the same time, it's not like we're debating it, they've currently got all of these people. We are currently surrounded. And the rational thought kind of, like, if we start fighting, they could just kill them all anyway. Because they've already got them. It's not like we're fighting to get them back. They've already got them. So I'm definitely not going to be happy about the fact that they've got them. But at the same time, we're surrounded and they've already captured anyway.
You've basically seen the hothead. You've seen what hotheadedness does at the funeral, and you're you're deciding that maybe this is the better option.
Yeah, had the funeral gone a different way, we might have actually got the. Granted, is an asshole, but we might have actually got Kiamet against Therenbor, which now isn't a thing. So that would have gone the other way.
Okay, so you are you stopping him?
What, from throwing the arrow at the captain?
Throwing the spear at
Yeah.
the captain, yes.
Yes.
I you know, if anybody has anything else they want to chip into this, I can personally, I can see that she doesn't want to see them killed, and Valashul, despite sort of doing it for honorable purposes, maybe isn't seeing the whole picture of that. If she does that, then maybe all of those Dragonborn will be killed. So that's I'm assuming the sort of direction she's going in.
Yeah, I can't see any good coming from this spear.
Okay, so what are you doing to try and stop him? If you fail, by the way, then he's good. He's doing it. It's cast and it's going into the guy. So
I'm trying to think like what's my best asset on.
Don't you dare.
I mean, I could duel you again. It's been a while.
I know, but you've got to stop. It's not about you cast.
I know your tricks.
You've got to sort of.
You don't.
You've got to physically stop him now because he's literally reaching to get his spear. He's going to ready it and throw it.
Okay, hold on. I think I'm not going to have the strength to stop a paladin, but this might.
Command spell. Command spell.
No.
Hold on.
So in a moment.
10 seconds. Damn it.
Hold person that can see within range. Duration 1 minute. Choose a humanoid that you can see within range. The target must succeed a wisdom saving throw or be paralyzed for the duration. At the end of each of its turns, the target can make another wisdom saving throw. Okay. So what's your spell save? What's your spell save?
What?
So
What's
on
your wisdom
spell
save?
sheet,
DC, spell DC.
so
Yeah,
if you
just-
click
My
on spells
wisdom
at the top,
is
it'll be up
7.
the top.
My wisdom save is 17.
No, not your wisdom save.
So your
Um,
spell
Spell,
casting
so you
Okay.
click on your spell tab, and at the very top, it'll say spell casting ability, spell save DC.
Yeah.
17.
17.
Okay, spell save DC 17. Cool.
Okay, so you need a DC 17 wisdom save to overcome this, Val. Oh!
I get +2 for Sentinel. No.
This
it.
of all the
No,
times
no.
for Val to
Hold
succeed
on
a
a
roll,
minute.
this will be it.
Oh,
Hold
one
on a
second.
minute.
That's a good point. I have Sentinel as well.
See, I get +2. I get the modifier from Lance. 'cause
Wait, no, because it's not. If he's
Yeah.
gonna help, he needs to roll his initiative as well.
I rolled my
he
initiative
did.
up there.
It's a 10.
So
that's not gonna help, is
so
it?
it's not gonna
Yeah,
help
but
'cause
him
Galadriel-
just being beside me.
Galad-
Being beside
I
me.
know,
with
but
It's
the
a
buff.
reaction.
It's a reaction.
Yeah. Yeah. I react to someone attacking.
God.
It's not an
When it
attack.
reaches within
though.
5 feet of you, makes an attack
You're
against
not-
a target other than you.
Yeah, it's not an attack
Oh,
It's
though.
not an attack.
Not an
I'm
attack.
thinking of this. Balls.
It's not an attack. It's not an attack.
Yeah,
It
it's not.
kind of is.
It's not the
It's not
the
an
way
attack.
D&D means it.
Have you got any? If you can think of a way to boost that up, Val. If you really want to spear this guy, I'll give you.
It's a gentle, loving embrace that will just paralyze him for a minute. It's not an attack.
Can I still speak?
Right.
Paralyzed doesn't talk about speech in the thing.
Yeah. So I guess you.
I
Okay.
can
So are
still
you
speak.
accepting you've been paralyzed? Are you
I'm accepting I've been paralyzed. Can I still speak?
Let's see. Paralyzed condition. Yes, you can still speak. No, wait, no, you can't. You're incapacitated. You cannot move. You cannot move or speak. You automatically fail strength and dex saves.
sense the creature that you can see. Oh, that would be
no,
hilarious.
sorry, I didn't even see that. I was just reading up paralyzed. No, you can't speak, mate. Sorry.
This sucks.
Oh man,
Sucks.
brilliant. Okay,
That's
that's wow. That came very close.
I am so upsetty.
Mr.
Have you
Spaghetti.
missed it?
There's another T-shirt. Why does Val get all T-shirts? Mr. Spaghetti, double nat one. I'm resistant.
No,
Okay.
it's but I'm resistant.
Okay.
But I'm resistant.
So
And
you've
I need a T-shirt that says "Have you missed me?"
okay. So you've been paralyzed.
No.
It's been 1 minute. Are you saying anything before? Because as soon as that minute's up, he's just going to do his thing. What are you saying within that? And I'm going to
Me?
give you a minute to do it.
Well, he's got actually 6 seconds before he can re-roll the whiz save.
That's true.
So only one round of combat.
okay.
So
you got-
Galandra has to basically speak immediately.
Fuck's sake.
Ah! He's broken out. So he's broken out of it.
Well, Galandra's got 6 seconds to say something,
I
right?
counted 6 seconds. Okay, no, she said
Oh.
fuck's sake.
Oh,
Okay.
so you want to go by actual 6 seconds?
No, let her speak. Let her
Yeah, no,
speak.
it's fine.
You can have the save though if you.
No, that save doesn't count.
Yes, it does. Let me smite this fucker.
I literally wanted a couple of weeks of like general nice play just to get back into playing Galandra, but no.
Matt
Have
keeps
you-
on putting his
The elves, the elves are all.
Have you met Matt?
I did right. In my defense, you weren't meant to go whole hog and have a massive battle at a funeral. I thought you'd sort of kind of go, there's lots of civilians around. We don't want them to die. We'll have to let them go. But you went, no.
I was stealing
When
our
have we
friend.
ever done that?
Went full murder hobo.
Grinder.
After 2 years.
Murder
Who
hobo.
does this shit?
Do you even know us?
Oh, I have missed the phrase "murder hobo." That was my
Very
deal
good.
for a long time.
Okay.
All the elves
Well,
are sitting up in their
right,
little
so
invisible box, just like.
he's paralyzed. You have literally you've got a few seconds to sort of say something before he literally cracks out of it and does something.
Fuck's sake.
Take his spear off him.
If someone grab his spear, or this is going to turn into a bloodbath, which nobody wants.
Okay, so Lance, because you are next up, what are you going to do? So there's going to be.
I swear to God,
Oh
I will
yeah, it's
hold
on
this in you as well.
to grab his spear.
Do you, as Lance, do you see his actions of spearing this guy as rational and helping in this situation?
Bearing in
Bearing
mind
in
the
mind-
civilians.
Bear in mind the action I took as he was doing so. And the fact that, I'm kind of a very overprotective person by nature. And he's just thrown some people that I consider under our protection to the floor and basically.
But he's
said
also
that I'm
telling
not
you that
fighting.
if you don't come with him, they're going to get killed. So I know you're
But
all
I'm-
very hot-headed, but you have to have some rational thought within your bodies.
This is like tryouts for who's the next Draken.
Hey, what can I say? That axe is having an effect.
Draka wouldn't bow.
He wouldn't.
Draken would not bow. Draken would go nuts if
Yep,
his Dragonborn
exactly.
compatriots would
They've
take
When
him
the
already
lead-
prisoner.
been three
Draken's
pieces of
memory.
memory on the floor.
Yeah,
This
but
be honest.
how many times did Draken almost fucking die?
Yeah, well, he's dead now.
The only
so you can't
reason
say
you are all
that.
still alive is 'cause Matt's nice.
You can't speak ill of the dead.
Remember, as
Oh,
people
I
keep
can.
pointing out, I'm a construct. I'm not.
That's
At
a
least
Hail
not,
Mary.
not until Thomas necromances them.
No.
As
He
people
has to
keep
bury them
pointing
The
after
out,
only reason,
I'm
the
not
only
alive
reason you guys
anyway.
are still here is because Matt's nice. You would all be dead if Matt was not a nice DM.
But if Matt was such a nice DM, he wouldn't keep on trying to do this stuff. He'd have learned by now.
No, because that's good storyline. I just keep you alive because it's a good part of the story. if you all
And look,
died, it'd be very boring. So I'm trying to keep you alive. I just like these sort of instances.
I look at Galandra and I look back at Val. And difficult as it is being made of wood and ceramic, I curl my lip in disgust. And I look down at the axe, step sideways, and behead the captain.
Mm. Oh yes.
Oh my
Oh
god.
no!
Oh god. It
Has
turns
anybody
out that,
learned a time traveling spell?
and it turns out that the corruption was you after all.
Was there not a thing where there was like like an Instagram post where the guy saying basically your party are trying to find a group of like people going
No,
around
no,
killing everybody, and it turns
Yeah,
out
you
that
turn out
they
to
were
be
trying
you.
to find themselves.
Yeah.
They're just going around killing everybody.
Yeah. Okay, so you break out your axe, and
Such a shit show.
so roll me an attack.
Oh.
You hit, and you sever his head off. So you basically well, you can describe how you do it.
So I look down, look at the axe, and then I step sideways and pivot on my foot with my hand extended, and I whip the axe through the captain's neck. And as I turn around and to face the soldiers, his head drops to the floor, rolls towards me, and I stop it with my foot. I look up and I say, "This woman and everyone at the fort are under our protection. I gave them my word that no one would harm them. It's a very simple piece of mathematics here. Anyone who harms them goes on a list. I will spend the rest of my life finding the people on that list. Do you want to be on that list?"
It's been so long since I've seen that face on Danny. It's just Michael as well, hand in hand. Oh god. Right, okay. Val, you snap out of it. You can
Just in time to watch the captain get beheaded.
yeah.
Okay, well, seeing that the captain's been beheaded, Val opts to help up the Dragonborn.
Okay, so you that's the sort of there's this deathly silence as his head just sort of thuds onto the ground. There's like pure shock. Even Lady Taunt is absolutely, it just doesn't know what she's just seen. She the soldiers sort of kind of look at each other as actually roll me an intimidation. You can have advantage because you basically cut a guy's head off. Okay, so 19. The guards are sort of very like extremely shocked. You hear some screams coming from the crowd. You hear sort of people sort of shouting. Fights start behind the crowd, but people who are sort of for you and against you. You hear people shouting, you see, murderers. Then you say, no, he's not. It's just like they saved us, and sort of like you get sort of like people fighting in the background. The soldiers are looking very sort of confused. The sergeant shouts, "Kill them!" as the sort of soldiers start sort of present their firearms, and the sort of kind of halberdiers sort of kind of put their halberds down.
Is there any sort of hesitation visible? Like, is there any soldiers that take our side? Can we see dissent amongst the ranks?
Yeah, there's definitely sort of there is sort of unsurety, and that's even a word.
Uncertainty.
Uncertainty, yeah, uncertainty. There is
That's your t-shirt.
unsurety. I'm unsurety.
Surety.
But there's they're not sure, and I would say. Trying to think.
Sensing some of the dissent, Val chimes up and says, "Those of you who cannot do this with your whole hearts should drop your weapons now."
Roll me a persuasion. You can have advantage on that. Yeah. Okay. So out of the 200 soldiers, 99 of them.
Oh yeah.
99 of them sort of like shake their heads and start to walk. Basically, they sort of kind of walk towards you and turn to face the other soldiers.
And then Val raises his spear above his head and says, "And those of you who would still follow this pompous Triarch's orders, prepare to face your maker." And then I cast Crusader's Mantle.
Holy power radiates from your area with
You
30-foot radius for friendly creatures until the end of the ceremony.
Nice.
Oh, that is amazing. Each non-hostile creature.
Yeah. So as he says that, and everyone's shocked, I step forward, crushing the skull of the captain with a pop, and I bring the axe up and I say, "Who wants to be the first on my list?"
Okay. Oh god, this is escalating. It's escalated quickly.
I think Danny's about to have another child.
Brick killed a guy. Lance killed a guy.
Just the one so far.
I had a trident and I killed a guy. Okay. Lady Taunt's gonna get.
Come on, Danny, say something.
Galandra's speechless.
Yeah, all the elves are just kind of like, "Bah."
Literally the past 5 minutes, I've been reading the eye on every single spell I have. Raise the Dead literally says, "Cannot sew head back on."
It's not a head anymore; it's a rag.
Okay.
Oh, I could raise him. Then
Not in that way.
he wouldn't need his head.
Okay. Right.
You can tell Matt's just flying by the seat of his pants here.
I knew it was going to go one way. I kind of thought like 200 soldiers, but yeah, we're just going with it.
I don't think he expected us to get 99 of them.
Okay.
You guys give me indigestion.
I've had heartburn for the last half hour.
Okay.
I got nothing.
Okay.
Matt's wishing that Val just didn't turn up.
Things would have been different. Okay. Lady Taunt is going to be the deciding factor in this, I think. So,
I'm literally at her feet.
Still on your
We've
knees.
seen this before, haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I want you to, because I can't make the decision, because if I make the decision, then it means I'm railroading you into a position. So I don't want to do that. I want you to have some sort of agency in this decision. So I want you, bearing in mind Lady Taunt and how you feel she might react to this situation, bearing in mind the factors that this is her country, these are her countrymen, but she does love yous and she does understand the situation, and that she wants to sort of, I want you to decide how she is going to react, not in your current character situation, how you feel what she would do in this situation. And I want you to sort of, and so if
surely she'll take our side.
I
This
think
tryout's
Harry
trying to
I don't know.
expose a power,
Yeah.
the death of her father, exploiting it all to place himself
Uh,
in power. Oh, he can't. No.
Unfortunately, my child's awake, so hold on.
Okay.
I think that her innate sense of good over and above her belief in the laws and her distress at seeing the way that we're being treated would win out. Because
Oh,
essentially she-
baby.
You have just chopped the guy's head off, though.
he was an asshole though.
He started it.
To be fair,
Well,
but I
extremely
think
racist.
the thing is about like Lady Taunt, although she is a fighter and stuff like that, she's diplomatic. So I don't think she's particularly going to agree with, just live by the sword, die by the sword.
But
There's
she
always
also
she
watched
would have
him
always
tell
sort of
us-
think there's a way to do things in a diplomatic.
But then she also
manner.
just witnessed the guy throw down one person and say that they had everybody else held hostage.
I know, but does that mean he deserved to have his head cut off? That would be my
Yes.
Mhm.
I want you to think about right. Okay, she in the past has not been she's not headstrong. She's she's methodical.
That's why
and
she needs us.
and she's methodical, and she she's trying to save her people. Bear in mind, when you first met her, she was running the Babbling Bat. She was there with the people. She was sort of, she didn't spend her time in the big city under her father and stuff. She was in the village, sort of, or in the town, around the people, knowing them, being one of them and stuff. So I understand, she probably
He is
doesn't
one of
have-
the only people that has actually been, like sort of sensible, as you said, not like, strong will, like sort of, fucking brash and stuff like that.
But then
She's
she did keep
reasonable
us
and-
around, knowing that we were definitely the blunt object she needed. We gave her the freedom to be diplomatic at times.
hmm
Yes, but so maybe she does have, you are maybe the agency she uses to get around certain things within Balon. But does that mean she would?
I think maybe she'd implore the people that are still intent on it. After seeing half of the forces join her side, surely she'd understand that we're in the right here, and she'd try to implore them to surrender peacefully rather than bloodshed. Like, she knows it's going to devolve. We're not just going to stand down.
It's going to be civil war, isn't it? Okay.
Yes, it is.
You've done this, Wesley. You've done
I
this.
know. I will see her on the throne of Balon, and then I'll marry her, and I'll become king.
I think Landry might have something to say about that.
Okay.
Consolidate power for Bahamut.
Oh, how are we going to do?
Was it the cat?
Unlikely he'd be swearing if it was a cat, because he'd have several like.
Yeah, just bear with me a
Several
moment.
lines of
I just heard a bang. Just bear with me a minute. Talk amongst yourself. Decide something between yourself. I'm just gonna have to check something.
Well, I've made my promise, and it's just whether or not they want me to keep it or not.
I'm safe
Lady
in
Taunt
Terrible's little
disagrees. Are you going to have
mental
to cut
space.
off her head as well?
Oh no, I won't cut off her head. I'll just
Yeah, but
shorten a few other people.
surely, like, the people that have, like, swapped sides are now going to be in the same boat as us and potentially be executed for it.
They're kind of committed, yeah.
Yeah. So if she surrenders, she's handing over the lives of not only the party, but also 100 people that took
But-
our side.
Right. Take this into account that I don't think it's a matter of people getting executed straight away. I don't think they're just going to kill us on the spot.
No,
They
no,
might
of
do at
course,
this
but
point in
the
time.
risk of it is there.
Well, considering that the first thing the sergeant did was shout, "Kill them."
Well, that's after you chop the guy's head off.
Yeah,
I
but
think
we're now
that's
still
I think
in
that's
a
perfectly
situation-
just. Like,
that's not
it's
my
one thing
point.
chopping a guy's head off, but there's another thing if you just punched him in the face or something like that. You know, it's like a bar. It's basically like having a bar fight and you push somebody, but then if you're in a bar fight and you cut somebody's head off, other people are going to be like, "Holy fucking shit!"
I
This just got
maintain,
fucking
use
serious.
my Bible, as Dave would put it, I maintain to use my Bible lessons. Do unto others as they would do unto you, and do it unto them first.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. So we
Lance definitely takes the new Draken role.
okay. Okay. So Lance and
I
well,
think people would be
she'll
proud.
are basically saying she would basically get them to put their arms and basically join them.
Not necessarily join them,
But not
like-
stand in the way.
but yeah, like maybe I'm thinking prisoner exchange. But yeah,
Okay.
because she's seeing firsthand how split Balon is by just this alone, surely.
She is also aware that there's a war going on, and any sort of weakness within Balon, especially after some very devastating wars within, that a civil war may be the end of the land. So I'm not trying to force this in your direction. I'm just trying to give you. I'm trying to be devil's advocate in this. You've got
Yeah, no, it's fine.
She's got in my mind, and I'll go for the majority here, so you can decide whatever you want. In my mind, she is going to be split. I don't think she's going to appreciate that you cut the guy's head off. I think
I'll apologise later.
I don't think she's going to appreciate they cut the guy's head off, but she isn't going to appreciate the fact that she's the land that she's gifted you, and the people within that they'd said you could have been sort of taken without sort of any course. They've just been arrested. So she's got this sort of kind of thing going on, but you got to bear in mind she is potentially going to be the next Triarch.
Queen.
Yeah, well, she doesn't know. She doesn't know your intentions yet, and she doesn't. Her thing is, because she's a very strong believer in Bahamut. She's seen his presence. She knows about the corruption. She knows about what her father. Her father was there to fight the corruption. Her father was captured and killed effectively in the process of going to fight the war against the corruption. And so she would potentially be feeling that if a potential civil war breaks out, that would hurt not only the fight against the corruption, but weaken Balon and potentially cause it to fall to the corruption. So,
But does she trust the other Triarchs to stand against the corruption?
well, yeah,
Well,
again,
to be
that's
swayed
it.
by it.
I think Suburn, I think she knows is an asshole, so she knows she's not keen on him anyway. But she knows Agover is I think he's fair, but he's not because he
Rusty.
yeah we're not sure kind of his sort of intentions to it and stuff. So yeah, okay. You've had I personally don't think she'd want civil war because it would weaken their positions, but again, you can decide. Two of you have decided to sort of do it that way. Obviously, Danny's off, so she can't sort of kind of cast a vote at the minute. What do you
I think we know what her vote was.
Yeah, what do you?
She said she supports Lady Galandra, so.
Yeah. What do you?
Lady Galandra or Lady Tom?
Lady Taunt.
Lady Ton.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, yeah. So what do you?
They're not married yet.
What do you?
Not
What do
yet.
you think? Conrad as.
Well, I don't know how valid my vote is here because I don't really know the Lady Taunt or what she would do. Putting myself in a complete objective perspective, if she's somebody of power or been used to power through her father, and then coming in and seeing all this, even though the people who she's sort of friends with and backing have made this first motion towards like war, I just don't think, unless it's in her traits to just be like, you know what, you're right, fuck it, let's go. I think she would stand in the way and stand and command everyone to stop and lay down arms. And then, yeah, that's how I would see it happening. But I don't know the Lady Taunt's characters like everyone else, so I don't know if my vote is as valid.
Michael?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think Tharval and Ceravel are still of the sort of stance they feel kind of responsible for the failure, and they basically think that people are reacting in a sort of emotional manner and just looking for somebody to point the finger at, and obviously we're going to be the people to do that for. But at the same time, they don't want to be taken, because they obviously feel that despite the bad stuff that's happened, that they are overall doing good, despite what other people think. But they don't want to sort of cause any more bloodshed either. So they're kind of, well, as they're doing, they're kind of abstaining from, they're sort of trying to take a back seat to possibly sort of carry out actions at a later point.
Okay. How do I decide this?
As well, like they don't, Tharavel and Serval don't agree with them, taking the Dragonborn and stuff like that. But again, I think there's a time and a place for a reaction rather than instantaneous. Things can be done at a later point. Well, they could have.
You still can.
Okay, I'll take that as two for two on a view. I will therefore Valashil and Lance, you can make a you can talk to Lady Taunt, and I'll let you roll persuasion. On why you think this is the best course of action, and that she should she should sort of persuade the men to put their arms down and stand against the Triarchy. If you're starting a civil war in her name, you need to persuade her why.
Yep. Okay, Val turns to address Lady Taunt while still holding his spear up and, casting his Crusader's mantle and whatnot.
If you're not with me, you're against me too.
Lance cuts off her head. Oh, joy!
I'm the Taunt.
Okay, when Danny comes back, we'll just go.
No, I'm Lady
Kill
Taunt.
Lady Taunt.
When she gets back, just say roll initiative.
Yeah, roll initiative.
When she gets back down,
Oh, yeah.
what I'm going to do is everyone go quiet, and I'm just going to say, "Oops."
I will go roll initiative. So what?
Okay,
So
I forgot what I was going to say now.
Yeah.
God.
Sorry.
It's okay. Val says, look at how this Triarch has tried to exploit the death of your father. These men are on the verge of committing fratricide. More blood spilt on your lands, or what will be your lands, if you stand up now and take them.
Okay. Lance, are you yelling anything?
Whoops, that's perception. Oh, really? Can I have the first roll, please?
In your mind, it was this epic speech, and you after you're kind of going, "These men are bad."
I step past him as he stares at his feet and twiddles his thumbs. I say, well, I admit that possibly that wasn't the most diplomatic move. I don't believe that he and the man he represents have any honor or any ability to represent and rule your country properly, when their first instinct was to take innocents prisoner and rely on intimidation and cowardice in order to try and bring us to trial, because they did not feel that they had the law on their side. And in that situation, I think you'll agree, this land would be better off without them, given that the corruption seeks any opportunity to sneak in and to get within and corrupt those that it fights against, to turn them to its side.
Okay, roll me persuasion. Okay, all
Oh,
right.
yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Save the day, Mark.
Yeah, okay. Lady Taunt is, she sort of kind of walks forward and she looks at the crushed head of the guard captain and at the of Galdrak sort of kind of on the ground, and she says, what's she gonna say?
I feel like we should have other music than the tavern music.
Yeah, I'm
it's
trying to
far more tense.
Yeah. Taking the edge off it slightly. Okay. Let's see. What are we gonna go for?
Countdown music.
She sort of turns to the soldiers here, sort of against and sort of addressing the people. Oh God, what's she gonna say? Fuck. I have witnessed many things in this war against the corruption. I have seen horrible things. I have seen many deaths. I have seen heroes rise and heroes fall. I have seen many of my friends killed and my own kin laid low. I wish for this darkness to end. I wish for this corruption to be taken from my land, as my father did. It would seem that these heroes who have protected us more than once may be brash and may be foolhardy at times, but they are the only reason that we are still on this map. Balan exists because of these people. Because of these heroes, we still live. And we pay them back by threatening them with jail, with trial, with treachery, by capturing their friends and their followers. Is this who we are? Is this who we have become? I have witnessed the gods appear before me. My Lord Bahamut has appeared by these very eyes, and he stands up for these heroes. I therefore, as much with a heavy heart that more bloodshed can be spilled, cannot accept but Lord, what Triarch Triarch Suburn is insisting. You do not have to follow his commands. I am Lady Athea Taunt, new Triarch, and heir to my father's seat. Join me, join the heroes, and fight for this land and expelling the corruption from it. I cannot promise you that I cannot promise you that there will not be more bloodshed and more of your kin will be slain. But to get rid of these men and these ladies will be to shoot ourselves in the foot, to hand this land to the darkness. Join us, and we can take this land back and take the war to the corruption. What say you?
Give yourself an inspiration point.
Yeah, that was good.
I'm wondering why.
That was good,
Especially
yeah.
on the
Yeah,
spot,
on the fly. Yeah, that was good.
Super ad-libbed. Okay, so what am I gonna do? Okay, I am going to roll. She doesn't have any stats yet, does she? So, does she have stats? Actually, I did start her up.
Inky.
Did I start her? Yes, I did. Though I don't know if she's very charismatic. Or did I put her card in? I think it's... Core. Right, okay. That's a +2 to charisma. Okay, so we're going to go for persuasion. With advantage. Can't have her feeling. It would just be epic not to feel.
The whole crowd
Yeah,
stampede her.
in her mind, she had this epic speech, but she turned around and she went. Okay.
In
It was in her head. It was in her head.
It was all
in her
her
weathered
head.
conditions, you just went.
What a bad time to do that.
Yeah, okay, because she's basically she's known in this land, and she is a Triarch's daughter, and Falcross is basically her area, so I take the advantage on it. Okay, so the soldiers lower their weapons. You hear some cheering from the crowd. You hear some of the other crowd shouting "bitch traitor," and you know, I thought you were one of us. I thought you were one of us, and sort of like some of the other ones sort of kind of run off. But the soldiers lay down, basically put down their arms, and they move towards Lady Taunt, and the sergeant says, "Oh, is he going to do? Is he going? Oh, actually, no. Actually, I think he's not going to say that. So they come over. I'm gonna let you do it, Val." Because I'm guessing this is your little rebellion you're starting. But they sort of, all the soldiers move over towards her, and they kneel before her.
Oh. I was expecting
We
to have
did
to stab
joke about
someone. So what am I doing?
So, or just like, because I was going to say, what the sergeant says, and then the soldiers sort of hip hip hooray and stuff, but it's like, and I was going to say, if you want to title her, because, if you want to title her as ruler of Balon, Empress of Balon, or whatever you want to sort of kind of give it, it's up to you.
Okay.
Empress of Balon, beloved of Bahamut.
Okay, Val steps up to Lady Taunt and draws Holy Avenger from its sheath. Assuming I've got that back from the person I gave it to. And he looks at her and then asks her to kneel. And if she complies, he'll dub her on the shoulders with Holy Avenger and say, "Arise, Queen of the Isle, chosen of Bahamut."
All right. Okay. So she kneels tentatively, and the soldiers erupt with cheers. Is that her title, Queen of the Isle? Is that what you sort of want to
I guess I couldn't really think of anything on the fly, but yeah, Queen of the Isle works.
Yeah.
Or Queen of Balon.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Queen of the Isle, Empress of Balon.
Yeah, okay, that works.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. So, all hail Queen of the Isle, all hail the Empress of Balon, down with the Triarchy! And there's a massive sort of cheer goes up.
Val joins them, and he starts bashing his spear against his shield.
Civil War it is! Okay.
Definitely against his shield.
Okay. Yeah, alright.
His cod piece just makes a ting. No.
Okay, I need to text Danny and see if you coming back, or you coming back? Or about to finish up. Okay, we'll give her a few minutes just in case she wants to come back and say anything. She's just missed the declaration of war. Yeah, okay. Okay, so yeah.
She almost came back.
Yeah, so yeah, I was kind of looking forward to a big trial scene and stuff like that, but I guess Civil War and working out mechanics to Civil War is going to be
Yes.
more interesting. So yeah, I guess we'll do that. Okay, while this is going on, those who are in the cloud, are you coming down and saying anything?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Right. Arno, are you still disappeared?
Absolutely.
Right. Oh, God, this is gonna get so complicated. Right. Okay. Right. Fine. Right. I
I love
guess.
that we had Danny back for like an hour and a bit, and I managed to break her.
Yeah, she's not replied to message. She was online, but she's not sort of. She's obviously trying to make sure baby is asleep. Okay. I think we could probably leave it there.
She's here.
Oh.
She's back.
Roll initiative.
Roll initiative.
Sorry.
I'm kidding you. I really don't think he's asleep, but you know.
We're finishing off now anyway.
Yeah, you need to roll initiative though.
Brilliant.
This is the stop. This is the stop. Lance from killing Lady Taunt, by the way.
Please tell me you're joking. Is it actually?
I mean, she did object.
He started it.
Can you give me a hat?
No, don't worry.
Val's becoming king.
No, no. It's. Don't worry about it. It's fine. When you've been away, it's okay. They hashed it out. She stepped forward. She's persuaded the troops to put down their weapons, and Val has proclaimed her Queen of the Isle, Empress of Balon, and we are now going to have a civil war in Balon.
You missed the bit where Matt tried to Belle tried to persuade her of the rightness of her course and rolled like a 5. And I had to step up and roll a decent roll and persuade her of the rightness.
And you missed my epic ad-lib speech to the
It was
troops.
really
as well.
good.
It was, yeah.
Ad-lib speech.
I'm sure there'll be many more.
Yeah. So so unfortunately, Civil War is about to brew. You've persuaded all the troops to sort of take her side, and a lot of civilians are sort of kind of happy with this. Some of them aren't happy with this, but we now have to establish how we're going to deal with civil war in the middle of another war. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So yeah, welcome back, Danny. That's there you go. you might want to rewind this bit back when you and sort of catch up on what's been said.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And do what I always do and catch my epic faces at everyone's fucking decisions.
I got a pick.
I'm quite impressed.
Okay. I think we're gonna have to leave it there because it's getting late now, and I don't fancy ad-libbing a civil war stats and territorial gains and persuading lands to join you and stuff to fight. That could be a thing. Okay, so yeah, we'll leave that for now, and then I'll have to have a long think about how we're going to do this. So for tonight, I've been Matt Geary. With me has been Conrad as Arno Jerkel, Michael as Tharavel Eldon.
I'm in the clouds.
Wes, the arch instigator, Balashil Nostius.
For the Empress.
Dave is Thomas Moonstar.
Civil War.
Marcus Lance.
The Draken.
And she's back, ladies and gentlemen. And as disappointed as ever, Danny is Galandra Rivenstar.
What a fucking welcome.
Night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.